Okay guys, have we got one key connection? Yep. Laurel, has your group got one key connection you can talk about? Okay, great. You must have one. Okay, because this is a simulation, in some ways it's easier and in some ways it's more difficult than it would be if it was for real. Some of the issues are you get everything connected to everything and you don't concentrate on the things that are most important. Your organisation, you should be able to concentrate on things that are most important, most influential. If you get lots of things going to one thing, obviously that's worth looking at. If you've got some gaps and you've left out a process or a goal, this should start to reveal to you that there's a gap there. And if you've made a goal and there's nothing that connects to it anywhere else, it may be that's not really a goal at all. And you should throw it out at that stage. So this is the first of the refining processes that we do, step 2, which tries to make sense of what you're doing as an organisation. Right, let's have this group here, Paul's group. What key connection did you find and what do you think it tells you?
We started off with what we were trying to do from the client standpoint and on delivery. Delivery led us to project management, and effectively on the delivery we were saying what are we trying to do? We're trying to educate, safety. We're working on education, safety, training, but at the same time a bit of entertainment. But then to do that we needed to know project management, which is what we were trying to do, how we were going to deliver it, when we were going to deliver it, what we needed to do, what we needed to do to have to deliver it, and also who was responsible for each stage. The funders weren't just necessarily providing money, they were also supplying a resource, which is either money, time, or skills. And particularly in something that's led by volunteers, it's the right mix of skills. You can't have everybody who wants to be an engine driver, you still need somebody who's going to work on the platform, for example. The reflection was really actually standing back and looking at the budgets and the processes to see that we'd actually got the right things in place at the right time.
Okay, I think it would be better if the next group stuck on the bits of blue at the front there. Would you like to go next? Sorry, with your, or maybe you want, yeah. Would you like to go first? Because they were doing diaries, weren't you?
Yeah, sorry.
Would somebody from this group like to bring up their key connection and tell us what they saw then, or one of the main ones they saw?
Yeah.
It's your organisation, I've got that.
The key ones, is in green, because it's about providing the quality education and entertainment experience, and in order that that happens, the interpretation work done has got to be of high quality, and in order to ensure that, we need to carry out this best practice research. But there were some subsidiary things that came out. One was the importance of the training of volunteers, because this interpretation of managing the place can be done by volunteers. And going across from here to the funder stakeholders is so that we are making an impact, we are actually satisfying them with producing something that relates to their own objectives, which are, amongst other things, about tourism and education. But we played about some other things as well.
Yeah. Thanks very much.
Key one.
Yeah, there's several points there, and that is, it's okay to link to more than one thing, but if you're really trying to get to the bottom of what are the implications of doing something, it's a good idea if you can isolate it to one thing there, one thing there, one thing there, one thing there, and look at that in isolation and then maybe look at another bit. Because this, if you did this for real in an organisation, back at base, you can imagine that lots and lots of discussions would come out of this. And what you really need is a note taker to say, yeah, well, let's park that, that's an important issue, we'll deal with that later. Because this is about people in ICT, as I think.
Yeah, I think we
probably
just, the interpretation bit was key.
Yeah.
About, what we asked everyone about the volunteer training.
Yeah.
as well.
Okay, that's useful, thanks very much.
Thanks.
So the reason we're doing this is to focus in on how things, what the causes and effects are, how things link together. Is it worth looking at this connection in isolation? And then obviously we're going to say, does ICT apply to that bit or not? And the answer may be not, in which case that won't be something that you'll take forward within this framework, but you might want to take it forward within another framework, which is your business planning framework, for example, or a funding framework. Off you go.
We noticed that all of our spaghetti ended on the project management branch, and it's just too much of a big chunk to look at. So we thought, right, okay, let's look at something different. So we came up with a promotion in the middle here. And going down to the evaluation reflective bit, that it was important to start from the market research questionnaire and whether our promotion was effective and whether it was getting our message across of what we were about. And then from, again, going back up to the promotion, so that people know what we're about, they're going to come and education and talent will be delivered. And then going up to the funders and stakeholders square, that the need of the community is met for what we're aiming to achieve.
Thanks very much. I think leave that there for a second. I think possibly the lesson there is, when you're doing it back at base, I mean, you said the project management, too many things linked to that. And obviously that means that's key, but what that really means is project management shouldn't be a goal by itself in internal processes. It should be unpicked into lots of different things. Because remember the question at the beginning was, in which internal processes do we need to excel to make this organisation work properly? So project management is one great big lump. Yes, you need to excel in it, but what does that really mean? So that's where you'll need to maybe take things apart into separate goals and say, what do we actually mean by that? Do we mean collecting information? Do we mean managing our staff and volunteers better? Do we mean making sure that everything happens on time in terms of what? So it's what you actually mean by that. So although we've done this now in 5 minutes, when you did it back at base, you'd ask yourself much more searching questions, and you'd say, hang on a minute, is that really a process goal we've got there? Or have we just stuck that down and do we need to possibly?
So that's the critical part we identified as the market research and expanding the market, which we've got in terms of the internal processes linked to information management and promotion, which is back to education and entertainment there.
So again, these are quite easy to just make, but what you've got to do when you do it for yourself back at base is you really think about it and say to yourself, is that really a goal from the client standpoint? Is it a primary goal we really need to address? Is it really, what does this beneficiaries thing mean over there we've forgotten? Okay, that's accurate reporting on beneficiaries. This is when you refine your words down. What does this really mean here, information management? What internal process are we talking about, and how are we going to improve it in, really? Count things better, make sure everybody enters data, make sure everybody enters data accurately. More staff training for that to happen. So you will need to unpick these things when you're doing it for yourself back at base. Okay, thanks for that. That's step 2, done. Well, you've done that and got to the bottom of that and decided some important things to carry forward. Some within that game, some maybe completely elsewhere. What would you do with that outcome? How would you analyse it further and decide how ICT applies to it?